the following announcement. Um, it was announced that the announcement of the second merger between CBS Corporation and Viacom, former CBS Corporation CEO Joseph Latnario was receptive to the possibility of the return of Nickelodeon children's programming to CBS. However, unfortunately, CBS is currently under contract with Litton Entertainment to carry the CBS Dream Team until the end of the 2022 and 2023 television season lineup. So this means any new children's programming cannot air on CBS until late 2022 at the earliest. Any return of Nickelodeon programming to CBS will have to comply with the Children's Television Act, the FCC's EI requirements. So the block will still need to air regular 3 hours of content considered of educational and informational to comply with EI. Well, sounds like Saturday morning cartoons is returning. But that's alright. Hush. Ever since 2011, 2013, and 2014, the CW, ABC, and CBS, along with NBC and Mi Telemundo or Telemundo, has pulled their plugs on children's programming. The CW was the last broadcast channel that carried on the tradition, with Saban Brand's The Vortex has pulled the plug, replaced by One Magnificent Morning. Now, it seems that Saturday morning cartoons is turned into Saturday morning educational stuff now. And when did that lead into? A whole hate on Litton Entertainment. And here's the reason. The government. Because the FCC decided to put some educational and informational stuff on cable channels and broadcast channels. So they unleashed the Children's Television Act of 1990, broadcast channels like the WB, Fox, and CBS, and later future broadcast channels ignored this. But unfortunately, the FCC forced all broadcast channels to do it. Or if not, that means children won't learn something. So the enforcement has been carried out. How unfortunately. And that really did not set well to viewers. Fox Kids was the first one to comply with the EI Corporation, educational and informative, with the Magic School Bus, Kids WB with detention, and a few other shows for EI programming. 4Kids TV, aka the Fox Box, had it. Kids WB had it too, but this time they had detention, Cubics, Robots for Everyone, and soon later Will and DeWitt. CBS's Saturday morning block, Nick Jr. on CBS, aka Nick on CBS, had educational programming too, but was sadly has to comply with the Children's Television Act when Nick on CBS launched, when Nick Jr. on CBS was renamed to Nick on CBS, and main Nickelodeon programming was added. By 2004, the main Nickelodeon programming was removed from the block, and the block became Nick Jr. on CBS once again, to coincide with Nick on CBS once again. And soon later, CBS partnered with DIC Entertainment to partner up to create KOL Secret Slumber Party, which will later become Kilopolis and Cookie Jar TV. CW sold Kids WB to 4Kids Entertainment, resulting Kids WB to become the CW for Kids, which will later become Toonzai and later to be replaced by Vortex. Yes, Toonzai and Vortex had to comply with the Children's Television Act, so they had to throw in Cubics, Robots for Everyone, Viva Pinata, and later Rescue Heroes. Now, the problem with EI programming is that everybody doesn't need educational stuff. They learn stuff at school, which makes sense. But it's the Children's Television Act. Children has to learn something during Saturday mornings, or else they can't learn something like what's going on in the real world, or how to get a part-time job. And that's a problem with some viewers who don't like the Children's Television Act. And yes, we already know Saturday morning cartoons on broadcast television was declining. Yeah, because of cable networks. Cable channels like Discovery Kids, Nicktoons Network, Toon Disney, Boomerang, Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon, and Disney Channel, they were all cable channels. Later on, Nick Jr., along with T-Nick, would also launch in 2009, replacing Noggin and sister channel and nighttime programming block DN. By to the late 2000s, ratings were lower with Kids WB and began discontinued on May 17, 2008, later to get replaced by the CW for Kids. Yeah. The reason is because why Kids WB was actually discontinued, because in a fierce cable competition and lack of children's advertisement. Because cable became the mainstream hub of television, dropping ad revenue on local networks, kid blocks. By the end of 2008 and by a later in the early 2010s, broadcast networks, excluding ABC, discontinued production in their own Saturday morning cartoon blocks. Instead of spending money producing, they began to sell their Saturday morning time slots to other companies. 4Kids Entertainment, Disney. We already know Disney has ABC, and that made sense because they have reruns of Disney Channel shows on ABC Kids. But honestly, that is not a good idea. Now the reason why Saturday morning cartoons had disappeared is because cable and the internet became a huge success in the real modern world. And that caused Saturday morning cartoons on broadcast television declined in ratings. However, Saturday morning cartoons returned, but this time Sinclair Broadcasting took in charge and made and produced a new block called Kids Click. Kids Click was a programming block that aired on My Network TV, CW affiliates, Fox, and probably NBC, and they would air weekly. Yeah, weekday mornings, probably weekday afternoons, and probably Saturday mornings. However, it only lasted until 2019, and Saturday morning cartoons were gone again. But however, Saturday morning cartoons did came back when MeTV announced that they're going to be unleashing classic Saturday morning cartoons. Launching in early 2021 with Tom and Jerry, Looney Tunes, including shows that were from Boomerang that hadn't been seen in years past when people were younger at the time. And sooner and later, CBS decided, they announced that they would be returning to Nickelodeon's children's programming onto CBS. However, unfortunately, not right now, because CBS is currently under contract with Litton Entertainment to carry on the CBS Dream Team EI programming block until the end of the 2022-2023 television season, meaning any new children's programming blocks cannot air on CBS until late 2022 at the earliest. So any of Nickelodeon programming to CBS would have to comply with the Children's Television Act still. Yeah. Even though Saturday morning cartoons are starting to come back, CBS is now becoming the second broadcast channel to return to Saturday morning cartoons, but not yet. they're still under partnership with Litton Entertainment, so it's going to take a while for CBS Dream Team to wrap up its final airing until end of late 2022 or the 2023 television season. However, again, any return of Nickelodeon programming like live action or animated shows like Hey Arnold and Chalk Zone or other 90s Nickelodeon shows, including 2000s and 2010s Nickelodeon shows, still has to comply with the Children's Television Act requirements. Yeah, i.e. EI programming requirements. So yeah. So they have to throw in some Nick Jr. shows to the lineup. Now, I can't believe CBS is actually trying to do this again. Yeah. Now, as for the CW announced their partnership with Litton Entertainment to extend further. Unfortunately. Sorry. I don't know about ABC because ABC never discontinued it yet. Yeah, Litton's Weekend Adventure, their ABC EI programming block. Both ABC and the CW probably is expanding their partnership with Litton. Yeah, that's what I thought. So here are the results. In conclusion, CBS is actually going to try to compete with MeTV, probably, and try to bring back Saturday morning cartoons with Nick on CBS. Since Viacom and CBS Corporation are now merged back together. And I think National Amusements ain't going to split them apart anytime soon. Thank goodness. Just hoping it would not get discontinued like that again. If it was Nick Jr. on CBS, that means preschool programming for young children still it has to expand further. Now, since Nick Jr. has to air on weekday mornings, but has to air on Saturday mornings. No, not on Nickelodeon, on CBS. Alright. Now, let me know your thoughts in the comments. What do you guys think of this? What do you guys think? Let's talk in the comments and see.